today I'm going to be exposing myself for being a high school loser. So basically, I'm going to be talking about what life choices I made that led to the outcome of me being a loser, the regrets that I had. So before high school, there was middle school. I lived in Koreatown in LA, and I went to John Bros Middle School. I would say socially, I was pretty comfortable. I had a close group of friends, and I had friends in every class. I wasn't popular, but I had friends. Summer freshman year, I moved to Irvine because my parents were like, oh, we gotta get you to a better high school. So we moved to Irvine, ended up at University High School, which is very academically competitive. The entire first semester, I was eating lunch alone on the theater front steps. And I remember one time the principal walked up to me and he asked me how I was doing because I was sitting alone. And I started crying. It broke me kind of. I was always left out in group projects. I had to be assigned to a group. By second semester of freshman year, I think I had found a small group of people to eat lunch with. And by sophomore year, I made a pretty good number of friends. I could just say hi to them. I'd say by the end of sophomore year, I confirmed my status of being a loser. Nothing much really changed after that. I didn't have friends in every class. I kind of got used to being alone. Yeah, that was the extent of my social interaction. Other things about me, I was in orchestra, I was on the tennis team, I played a lot of video games. I was very nerdy, a straight A student, all that. I was short, also chubby, depending on the time of year. Sophomore year, I started getting pretty bad acne, which I still am suffering from. So, what advice do I have for you? Okay, this video is going to be split into two parts of general advice, life advice, or life high school advice, and the second half is going to be academic advice, because I know I have a college YouTube channel. But I should also warn you, you should take my advice with a grain of salt. I don't know your life story, I don't know where you go to school, just take my advice with a grain of salt, basically. So my regrets. My first regret is not caring about my appearance. I know people praise body positivity and don't give a fuck about what other people say about you, but I could have done better. I started getting more acne around sophomore year, like I said, and I started seeing a dermatologist, but I was prescribed medication to put on my skin and also pills to ingest that would help with my acne. But I didn't do consistently. I would just do occasionally. Even after it started getting worse, I just continued to not care, which I really should have done, because I still have scars on my face. I still have active acne too. It probably would have gone away a lot sooner, and it would have been a lot easier to deal with now if I just listened and fucking took care of my skin, basically. I didn't think it was that big of a deal at first, but then by junior year, I was like, holy shit, my face is fucked up. You can kind of see it's gotten a lot better, but it takes a lot more effort to reverse the damage that you cause to yourself than it takes to prevent it. So my acne and overall appearance are some of my most sensitive insecurities that I still have today. And physical insecurity can start making you insecure by yourself, personally, your personal traits. And being insecure isn't a good look on anyone. Yes, it's good to be humble, but also know that being insecure and self-conscious all the time doesn't help you at all. Take care of yourself, care about your appearance, and you have to start building up confidence for yourself. My second biggest regret was playing video games. I think this can apply to you in the sense that choose your hobbies carefully. Basically, I was already addicted to Clash of Clans and Clash Royale, and I started playing Overwatch, which is a first-person shooter, and I got addicted, basically. Why were video games so bad? Okay, number one, they affected how I made relationships with other people. I didn't watch any Netflix shows, I didn't have any other interests besides gaming or playing video games, so my friendships ended up forming entirely around the gaming community at my school. I made nice friends. It just wasn't ideal because they weren't exactly into other things that I might have been into. I've never went to a football game. Actually, one time I told my parents I was gonna go to one, but I actually I went with my friends to a PC bang, which is basically a PC gaming room. And because of the fact that video games they die down eventually. Once a game's released, you get into it and then you kind of lose interest. Because of that, I would make kind of shallow friendships. I wasn't really close to most of my friends, and conversations could be dry at times if we didn't bring up something that interested all of us. Just be careful what you choose as what you want to do. because that can determine who you're surrounding yourself with. Just be careful. You're not limiting yourself just for something for your interest, for your enjoyment. That's probably just temporary. Another regret I had was thinking I was important. You honestly don't really exist in other people's lives unless you're like their best friend or something. But I kind of regret not being myself more, not caring as much about what people thought about me. I was a suck up to people. I did what people wanted me to do because I wanted to be nice and be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do that for you, and just kind of goody. I should have just told them no most of the time. It seems like a scary thought to just like tell someone off, but it's not that big of a deal. Even if they do have a bad impression of you, how often are you going to see them? How often are they going to talk about you? How often are you even involved in their lives? It's not that big of a deal. People who do obsess over what people think about them, people want to be popular, those are the kids who basically peak in high school. And even if maybe sometimes they're successful in life, but it's a rare sight. This also applies to like social media, like Instagram stories, Snap stories. No one cares. Literally no one cares. People forget about what you post in like a day. And this doesn't apply to me, but I don't think you should expect or look forward to a relationship in high school. Like, I know friends who had a relationship just because they wanted one, not because they actually liked the person, which sounds kind of weird, but don't try to force anything that you like want to have just because it sounds nice. You'll probably end up regretting it, wasting time, wasting money. And seriously think about whether you like the person you're with. And this applies to just like friendships too, like just being around people you like. Do you really like being around a person or with a friend group? Or are you just there because it's like the social norm or like socially acceptable to be with a certain crowd of people than another? Another regret, seeking validation. I often did things to please other people or my parents or to make myself look good rather than something I wanted to do or something I wanted to be proud of. If you keep thinking to yourself, what can I do to make myself look better? It's not only just gonna make you feel really shitty, but it's also very bad for your motivation, like your intrinsic motivation. Because when you develop and when you grow older, you're gonna keep having that mindset. What do they want me to do? What can I do to make them proud? What can I do to make myself look better? You don't have a clear reason why you're motivated. You don't have a clear drive for what you want to do. And that's gonna end up killing you very quickly. You don't even need to have a clear reason why you're motivated, but as long as it's coming for you, it's intrinsic, it's like self-motivation, then you'll get a lot further ahead than other people. And for you nerds who want to know my academic regrets, 1, take the SAT and SAT Math 2 subject test after you finish pre-calculus in high school. The math section becomes way easier, and you just need to prepare like a little bit more for the subject test and you'll be fine. Okay, 2, prepare for the PSAT for your junior year. I didn't take it seriously, but it can seriously help. It can be a very nice bonus if you get the semifinalist or finalist for national merit. Number 3, join clubs that you actually care about, and also make sure that you have something to show for the time that you put in. Don't join a bazillion clubs and do mock trial or science bowl just because you think you have to. Join one that's fun, find a way to make it grow, and have a good impact on it. And also make sure you at least get a position, just to put something on there. Number 4, don't waste your summers. Find a summer internship, find a job, go to a summer program that looks good on your resume. The bare minimum that you should do is like studying for the SAT, like online health or online summer school. Just like don't waste your time during your summer. You can have fun and be productive, okay? Don't waste your summers. Number 5, be nice to all of your teachers and be active in class. Those rec letters will come in clutch. Number 6, do not overload classes for senior year. Please don't. Like, you need brain power for those college applications, okay? And don't take 5 APs. Don't do a shit ton of work. I took physics AP 1 and 2, which is like combined into one class, and I took AP chemistry the same year. With 3 other APs, orchestra, tennis, and college apps, I was fucking dying. That was the worst year. Either take some stress off by taking an AP class over the summer, or like don't take 7 classes if you don't have to. But also don't underload. Don't take like 2 or 3 classes senior year, because then colleges will think that you're slacking off. So, number 7, prioritize. I might be in a weird spot to offer this advice, but my school is very competitive. A's did not come easy. I always put my grades first because that was my strong suit. I'm just a nerd. I skipped tennis practice. I skipped club meetings. I did homework and studied during orchestra because I sat in the back because I was last chair. So I was able to like make the most of my time, But you might be different. You might be like sports oriented or extracurricular focused. So it's ideal that you balance everything perfectly. You're good at everything, but we're human. So whatever your strong suit is, just play towards that. Number 8, in counter to the last one, diversify. Don't be boring on your college applications. Have like at least 3 things to say about yourself. One thing should not define you. You can put like 500 hours into a club, right? But just put 5 hours into something else and bam, you have another thing on your application that you can say and make it sound nice. So have at least 3 things to say about yourself. Number 9, don't freak out about grades. I know I just said I prioritize grades, but seriously, don't worry if you get a B or 2, or like, even if you're not a straight A student, I've seen plenty of kids with like less than 3.5s getting into top schools, so don't kill yourself over grades. And if your school is very competitive, like very academically rigorous, the colleges will know that and they will take that into account. If it's hard to get an A, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And number 10, mental health. Like, I mean this, get a psych evaluation, check on your mental health. Chances are you're not feeling well and you might have like a genuine cause for concern, anxiety, autism, ADHD. Like, your brain could literally be limiting your productivity. Make sure to check for that and get help for that if it is something that's affecting you. And for your own sake too, like, even if you do get into a good school, it's gonna be hard to take care of yourself. Other things, don't play violin if you're Asian, unless you're really good at it, like really, really good at it. Don't write your essay about playing sports or being a leader of a group or like a club or something, unless you're getting recruited for it. Don't get caught cheating. Don't apply to a school you won't go to. And remember, college applications are based on luck, okay? Sure, you have to have qualifications to get in, but after that, after you pass the qualification for a school, it's anyone's game. Don't beat yourself up over a flawed process. Just live with it and move on, okay? All right, bye.